Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're hailing from. Welcome to the George and Chris podcast this evening.
Yes.
Hi, George. Introduce yourself, please, and I'll do myself because you're more important than me on this one.
No, that's not true. That's not true. You know this dream more than anybody that this is a team effort, whether people help directly or indirectly. So I'm Jorge Castro. I'm one of the maintainers in Universal Blue and Project Bluefin, one of many.
Awesome. I'm Chris Short. I am a open source contributor du jour, and I am going to be working on Project Bluefin or Universal Blue, and soon enough.
You sound like my target audience.
Yes.
Tell me about the industry that you work in. I'm also going to interview you because
Okay, good. I like this.
You have a lot of people that might they don't know what KubeCon is, right? So
Right. Yeah. So
tail and then for a few minutes, and then then we'll get into the laptop.
Okay, cool. Yes, so I am a developer advocate at a big cloud provider, and I will not be using this framework laptop that we're going to be showing off with Project Bluefin on it for work stuff, as I work for a company that is very strict.
Business.
Yeah, very strict about security and separation of church and state, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I am somebody that's contributed to many open source projects over the years out of both necessity and desire.
Mm-hmm. Are we streaming on? Is the chat on in YouTube?
I think so. Yeah.
All right, let me check. I just want to
let me
keep going, and I'll check that. This is kind of this is our first time, everybody.
Yeah, no, I'm popping open YouTube right now.
Yeah, don't forget to mute.
And I got to mute it. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Happens to me every time.
Hello.
Chris Short. Let's go. Let's see where are people coming from here.
Yeah, where is everybody from?
Awesome.
Here.
I see Kettleson. He's in Florida. Another Bluefin co-maintainer.
Right. That's awesome.
We have Mark from upstate New York, I think.
Oh, okay. That's fancy.
Hi, Edouard from Monterrey, Mexico. Europe. Chechia, hello. Yeah. Awesome.
All right. That's a lot.
All right. Well, the way I know Chris is Chris and I have been working in the Kubernetes community for a long time. And I'm now at the CNCF. Staffer there on the projects team. And so what happened? We were at OSS Summit and you stopped by the framework booth. Explain how you ended up with this laptop here.
Hang on, let me mute this one site. There we go. So I had been thinking about a framework laptop for quite some time now.
Mm-hmm.
And but my hesitation was I hadn't seen one in real life, and I wasn't sure about the quality of components in the guts. Great, it's all interchangeable. That's the deal, right? They let you assemble and repair and replace everything from the battery to the CPU to the motherboard to the keyboard to the bezel on the screen around the laptop and everything. So it's a fully customizable laptop, which is really intriguing to me, because if it's going to be something I can use for a long time, I am more apt to buy that. So I've been a Mac OS user forever, and I'm not necessarily ditching Mac OS, but this new framework laptop is going to become my daily driver after the stream, basically. So yeah.
And your way around Linux. You've worked for a large North American.
So I've worked with Linux since the 90s. Yeah, at one point in time I had a job that said Linux system administrator, so I know my way around Linux in the enterprise. I know my way around Linux not so good on the desktop, hence why I'm on Mac OS. Right. So with that being said, part of it is because it's kind of like Android, right? They just give you everything, and you got to pick and choose which tools you use and which tools you don't in your day-to-day use. And framework with Bluefin was interesting to me from the sense of Bluefin has made some decisions for me that I like, and it's, RPM OS tree based, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But that's a model I've wanted to adopt on devices for a while. So
Yeah.
we'd be slowly phasing over everything from whatever it is now, a lot of Ubuntu, I feel like, to Bluefin over time.
Yeah.
And what is that everything? It's not a lot. Like I have a few VMs, a few Nooks that are now basically doing cancer research, and that's about it now. Like
And,
not
and a
much.
lot of containers in public clouds.
A lot of containers. There's at least 5 Docker composes running on my NAS right now, I think, if memory serves. So yeah, like lots of containers. Kubernetes cluster is getting rebuilds this weekend. So
Man,
yeah.
we got to get better hobbies.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, so, but like I'm trying to take the easy route because, as you may or may not know, I'm the IT guy for my entire family. So I try to make my stuff dead simple.
Okay. And with that, if you cut over, so you came over to my booth and you were like,
Yes.
I just ordered a framework on the spot.
Right.
Like, man,
Pretty
wow.
much. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to order one. Show me. Oh, you have one. Show me.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
And like, to be honest, George, let me disconnect this. The battery's charged. I liked your setup so much. I got the same thing.
you even got the orange bezel.
I got the orange. Well, orange is my favorite color, right? Like I'm gonna post the pictures from putting this together later.
Dude, the green one.
The transparent one was interesting, but they didn't have any. So
that thing is a myth. Everyone's asking about it. I know.
I was just like, can I even back order it? No. Okay, fine.
Yeah, I have one of those alert things on eBay.
Nice.
It's like transparent framework thing.
That was like a week ago. They shipped that fast. Yes, so it got here on Monday. However, on Monday morning, I was told, you're going to London. You need to be there for the thing on Wednesday. And I was like, okay, okay, we're going to do this now.
Well, welcome everybody. I see Gareth.
Yes.
I go way back. Joseph is here.
So this is a 13-inch framework laptop. It's definitely framework. You can see the logo. But it's like the one thing that I didn't know was how heavy is it, right? Like, you can, like my M1 MacBook Pro for work is a 13-inch laptop, and it feels as densely packed as this one.
Yeah.
Right? There's no
when I sit next to my coworkers and they have the M3 Max, like they both look great,
Right.
Like it doesn't feel like,
there's no cheapness to it, right? Like I have like Linux desktop companies and laptop companies have sent me stuff to test with, and I haven't bought any of them yet because every time I touch them, I'm like, I could get an HP that feels just like this for a third of the price.
Right.
So a framework laptop, while maybe a little over that, $1,000 price point, is definitely intriguing to me because I can literally you know what? I didn't like the Ryzen 5. I'm gonna go to the 7, right? Like I need a bigger CPU. How many people can actually do that nowadays, right? Like unless you built your desktop or bought one from like Costco because you got a deal on a GPU or something, like I might have done once but then returned. Like you don't really have the opportunity to just pop a new CPU in your thing, especially on Macs where everything is soldered down, and on this everything
and you can
is
swap
modular.
out the whole main board. You can go.
You can
AMD,
swap out the
Intel.
main board, the battery, the keyboard. What I really liked, I was a little disappointed when I felt this, and I'm like, okay, the bottom's kind of plasticky. I was like, I wonder how this is going to feel on the keyboard. Keyboard is aluminum. The whole top cover is aluminum. So I was like, oh, this is going to feel just like the same thing. And so the keyboard, right? Like comparing it to a Mac, because that's what
and you've only had it this week, right? Like
I've had it out of the box for just today.
Oh, okay. So this is your first.
Well, I didn't know what. So like I knew we were going to do a live stream this week. I didn't know if it was going to be on Monday or Friday, right? Like, I didn't know. So when I was ordering it in Seattle, I was like, well, if I'm going to do a thing with George, I better make sure it works out of the box, because it might be like he wants to do it like literally me ripping open the box, and I would have a camera over my desk kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I thought, all the scenarios we could do. So when you were like this morning, you were like, hey, just take it out, assemble it, install, make sure it works, and then just done.
Yeah.
Like, don't touch it.
Yeah, because we've seen the unboxing videos from other YouTubers, but what we
like,
want to talk to people about today is the good.
I'm going to put a blog post together with all the pictures and everything.
Ooh,
so
yeah,
like, I think, like, I love the ordering process. It was nice and easy, right? Like, no pressure to upgrade or anything like that. Like, straight up pricing. Like, the RAM was a little overpriced, so was the storage, but I wanted to buy their RAM and their, storage to make sure it just worked, because
100%.
who knew if I was going to do a live stream. But I also bought a cheaper 32 gig module from Newegg, and I have 64 gigs of RAM with the Ryzen 5.
I need to do that. I need to up my RAM. I think I have 32 on mine. I think we can go up to 64, right?
No? Somebody told me today they put 96 on theirs. Yeah. I was like, well, how do you do that? And I think it's like a 64 and a 32, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's like 2 Chrome tabs.
I know, right? Like, you could have maybe 2 whole windows of Chrome.
Yeah.
With 2 tabs.
Yeah. All right. So what are we going to go over this today? We're going to show Bluefin because Matt just posted on Reddit that Bluefin will be a community supported image.
Yes.
Where it's like they say, hey, and you can run this. We won't officially support you, but there's a community behind it. So we're very excited to be a part of this. Like, I never thought this would happen. I know there are people that are listening to this live
How
stream.
long is it? Let's get a little background on the project.
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Okay. So this is awesome.
Yeah.
Right. And like, trust me, I've kicked the tires on it over and over, right? Like, Bluefin is currently installed on that Nook, right?
Oh, all right.
So I've used it for a few months on and off.
Okay,
but
so you want to see the new stuff then that just landed in
bingo 39. GA. You just went GA with this.
We just went GA.
Literally what, Tuesday, Wednesday?
I don't remember.
It's been a week.
We're blocking it out. I'm tired. I was like, well, at least we got that out of the way. The rest of the week will be okay. Right. now it's like everyone's excited again. That's awesome. Can you cut over to the desktop here? So I gave you a tour at the booth. And after we did that, I was like, dude, we need to do this, but on video, so we can give people kind of the thing that you got going on there.
Yeah. So let me ditch the thing in the top.
The fried chicken. Yeah.
Goodbye.
So we call that's actually her name is actually Bluefin.
Bluefin. Yeah.
So when we get to certain parts, feel free to ask me questions on why we made those decisions and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So what do we have here? I had to install Chrome to add the screen to the actual stream. So I installed Chrome, and I went ahead and put my 1Password like add-on, and done. That was it. That's all I did. I installed Chrome from the App Store. The cool thing about Bluefin, like, I love this about it, right? Like, this little app catalog, everything comes from Flatpak.
Yep.
And if you go to your command line, everything comes from Homebrew. Oh, also, I installed Homebrew here, by the way.
I was hoping to do that live. It's fine, though.
Okay. No. We can do it again.
Oh, God. Does that work? Is this item potent?
I don't know. We're about to find out. So, yes, I understand. So when you first open, I guess we should go over this MOTD real quick. When you first open your terminal for the first time ever, it gives you this prompt, right? Like, highly recommended you install Bluefin or Homebrew here on Bluefin. And you have some other things that you can do and toggle on and off in configuration. But then, unlike a certain cloud provider that maybe might make you name the resource or just type confirm in the confirmation box, it asks you to type in all caps, yes, I understand, enter. So
I got that from apt.
Yeah, like,
so the reason this is, and so Homebrew's always kind of been not very popular on Linux, right? It's that weird Ruby thing. In fact, I will tell you right out, it's a it's a compromise, right? Like I have to put GCC on the image, and I don't
Right.
like that. Oh, and BK and M2 did that. Yeah. Um, and when we first did it, if you just run the install instructions from the homebrew upstream, it
Mhm.
just installs it. The problem is it puts homebrew in your path, like
Right.
your actual Unix path.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So one day my Flatpak stopped working, and I couldn't understand why.
Hmm.
So ends up when you brew install FFmpeg, it grabbed this PK11 crypto library, right?
Mm.
And then when a
Mhm.
Flatpak launches, it's like, I'm looking for PK11. And then it went in the Unix path, and then those didn't match. So kablamo, right?
Okay.
So I found a bug in upstream with Flatpak, and Simon McVitie, who is, I don't know where he works now, old school Debian developer,
Mm.
been around, does a lot of work, a lot, around Flatpak, a bunch of this stuff, a bunch of his work is here. Let's just say that if you're using Flatpak.
Nice.
He was like, "Hey, you want a container? You're gonna have to containerize it, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course, of course." So I asked around, and then we actually reverted to a containerized homebrew because we want the homebrew ecosystem of
Mhm.
those packages. So,
Right.
especially in our field, there's a lot of stuff in there that we can't get in distro, right?
No.
Ubuntu, the latest LTS of Ubuntu shipped yesterday, and it doesn't have cosign. Like, there's no sig store packet.
Right.
Like
Like
I can't do my job. Like, so my options there are install homebrew and go through all that mess, right? And then, or add a PPA, right? Or get a thing that I'll forget about and
right.
update. And then you end up in the kind of traditional Linux mess. And I didn't want to do that. And also, modern operating systems need to come with those kind of tools if they're gonna, if you're a Linux developer and you're using this for our target audience, you have to have all these tools. And
Oh,
they're all in
spot on.
homebrew. It's actually, yeah, yeah, someone's
Brew.sh,
squatting.
sorry.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Yeah. So
But
Linux is
yeah.
actually they publish their analytics. I really enjoy that.
Yeah,
And
so Homebrew is something I've used since I've started using a Mac, right? Like it's
yeah,
been they call it the missing package manager for Mac OS or Linux. They added
yeah,
Linux support a little bit later, and
yeah.
I love it because now it's one package manager for both systems.
Yes. So I enjoy that. And
Yes.
also because we are going with flat packs, right?
Right.
That covers the graphical applications. And Homebrew will cover the CLI applications. There's two patterns that drive me nuts. Well, there's many patterns in normal Linux that drive me nuts. But when people say, "Oh, we need to add more flat CLIs and flat packs," it's
Mm.
basically like let's hope someone repackages 50,000 open source packages.
Right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like we ain't got time for that, right? So we
No.
could just or because we want the ecosystem, the package manager itself. I don't care. Like I don't care,
Right.
right? Like you install stuff, it's ugly, right? But what's
Right.
important to me is that it's a blob. It's a
Yeah.
blob. It's an OCI blob, right?
Mhm.
So it lives in a registry. So that's good, right? And in November, the OpenSSF and Homebrew announced that they're going to be doing full SIG store signing with like the full attestation and like Salsa build level 2. So you would know that the
Wow.
binary on your system was built by that build system in GitHub, right? And the nice thing is everything is in GitHub. There's
Yeah.
no distro pack. Like I don't have to figure
Right.
packages.bluefin.org. Like nobody wants to, I don't want to,
No.
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 I just go to GitHub and you can go watch the homebrew merge queue landing stuff and you're like, oh cool, there's all that stuff that will never get into my distro, right?
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
what the nerds are using. So for
Yeah.
me, for us, it's an ecosystem play. I don't want to over explain it, but I know a lot of people have questions about like homebrew. Why don't you use a real package manager?
Well,
So
I think I mean, me personally, I think the concept of setting up a typical apt repo or RPM repo is just an antiquated process that we should get rid of. Right? Like, I'm ready for containers everywhere. I know
yeah,
people have
especially
been
on
doing
client.
this. Right,
Yeah,
like, right
yeah,
here, right now, I don't care. Like,
yeah.
abstract that away from me and just let it work. And if you can do it with Brew on every OS I use, which is
Yep.
your check the box, thank you, Brew.
Yeah.
You're gonna get me because I can literally say brew list on one machine and type in brew install all those
Yeah. In fact,
packages.
I'm going to have you do that now. I'm going to show you a few packages. So
Okay, cool.
hit enter.
Well, okay. No, it wants me
Oh,
with
move
open
the window out of the
SSH.
way. Yeah.
Hang on. Come
I
on.
wanted sudo. I think we're good.
Yeah, I think I did everything that needed the sudos already. Oh, there, accept that. Yeah, so it tells you to install GCC at this point.
Yes. So one of the reasons we say yes, we understand is we tell you to ignore all this stuff, close your terminal, and reopen it.
Yeah.
We tried to automate this in a way, but we couldn't quite figure out. This is one of those things that I want to automate, and I'm going to try to talk to someone now. Type Brew Doctor will tell you if you're working. All right. The first one I want you to install is brew install disk dysk, and then run that. Not that. dysk.
dysk. Got it.
And then run that.
You threw me off with the Y. I was like,
yeah, like that's not pretty, but whatever.
No, whatever.
We're here for disk dysk. Yeah. And then just run it. This is just a cool little thing that shows you how much space you have. Yeah.
Wow, that's way better than this nonsense.
there's a better DF in there as well.
I know.
Yeah, there's so many like
there's a better LS now.
Yeah, Chris Anna checks my grand boss and he goes, "You ever notice that like all the Rust kids are rewriting all of Unix core tools in Rust and they're better and Apache license?" I was
so much better.
Interesting. So the nice thing, and then brew list will show you that packages. So the nice thing here is we tie in this into the updates. So you are getting these packages updated every single day, which is handy because you never want to be behind on security updates. So our methodology versus kind of traditional, our target audience is normal people, which will never open a terminal, right? You can give this to your mom. But here with this developer experience edition, you notice the VS Code icon and stuff is on your dock. I was hanging out with Brian Kettleson and he's giving me the tour of his desktop. And I was like, why can't everyone just have this? And then we realized, we could just make it so everybody has this, like that friend that has the hookup, right? That's what you want. But you don't want to get into the mistake of making a distro, right? Because that always leads to pain and tears.
So here's my thing. I've taken away the need for VS Code altogether. I've gone this route. I'm going to log into my code server, which will...
No, hide that. All right, well, whatever.
It is hidden. What are you talking about? What do you want me to do? Now you made me retype it. And ta-da. Off it goes.
Oh, so you're running in your home lab, you're running a remote
Bingo.
Server.
Yeah, like this is code server. That's it. I haven't opened it from this computer.
Yeah, so you got to tell it to trust and all that stuff.
Yes. I mean, but this is essentially, it's put out by the coder folks. It's awesome. It's the exact same thing as VS Code. I can use this on my iPad if I want. I have all my extensions installed and they update automatically. And it runs on a VM next to Git T, which I think is awesome because...
Link that in the show notes.
I need to. So yes, if I want to go work on any of my open source stuff, this is what I use. So since I have Chrome open and it's available, I'm just going to tap that and hit install. Oh, all right.
So your applications are isolated. So you have to opt in to let it read stuff. There's two ways this is done: through a Flatpak portal, right, or apps that don't do that through a Flatpak portal. So you do get a little bit of, like if you're used to kind of my apps have access to everything, you are going to get little nitnoids like this. The good news is, since we kind of focus on the long-term longevity of the thing, is once you do that, you should never have to touch it again.
Great.
Right. So it's kind of one of those things. I'm going to punch you in the face, but only for the first few days.
Yeah. It's fine, right? Like there's always going to be, it's Linux. I expect this, but you have solutions.
Yes. So hit your Windows key or whatever, your super key, and then type flat seal.
I did. It's open right here.
Yep. Now this will let you manage the permissions and things of all of the Flatpak apps. So you will find this is going to be Chrome, and then you are going to, oh God, I don't want to do this live.
We're doing it.
Does anybody got the PWA shortcuts? It's like config. Man, I gotta open my Unix.
Oh, here we go.
We're hurting.
And you can't just search for this, can you? They make that too.
You can. It's just you have to type in.
Oh God, it's a variable or something. What?
No, yeah, it's like under other file system.
Oh,
You just had to go off the beaten path right off the bat. Thanks.
dude, of course. I mean, we don't have to do this right now. We can
Yeah,
do it later.
let's do this later. Like,
Yeah.
like we've got the.
But
like,
I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
I'm not going to sit here and be configuring VS Code. I've already done that.
yeah.
I'm going to
Actually,
just
what
get
I
this
do
little
in
app
GitHub,
installed.
I hit period. You know that,
I mean,
folks. You
yeah,
hit period
you can do
in
that
GitHub.
too.
Yeah.
But if you're like me and don't necessarily want to be dependent upon GitHub.
Yep. So if you copy and paste that error, you will end up on the Flatpak forums, the FlatHub forums, and you will find a post written by me on how to enable all that stuff. So I have written this down before. However, it would be baller if we included links like that in. Ooh, that'd be a great tip for the MOTD. Let's go back to the MOTD real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you got?
No, just close the terminal and reopen it.
Oh, okay, fine. Oh, hang on. There we go.
Yeah, because it's not going to bug you. And there's a switch there if you want to turn it on and off. So
yeah,
one of the reasons we wanted to do this is like originally Ubuntu came out with like a message of the day, and they put ads in it, right? And then everyone's like flaming them for it. But like when I worked there, it was like, oh, an MOTD, wouldn't it be great? Your system administrator could give you, information. Hey, everybody, do this thing or da 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 da. I can't wait to see what the community does when they build this entire, thing, because you could run it by you can run the server if you want and all this stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And instead, it was like everyone's just like, how dare they try to make money?
Right.
So like everybody hates this MOTD in Ubuntu. So anything that Linux people hate, I put it in. So I was like, we could just use an MOTD for good. So we put docs there. You see there's a link to the landscape. It'll tell you how to create your first Kubernetes cluster, where to find the docs, how to give money to FlatHub. Like we can actually use the MOTD for good stuff. And this is especially useful on Bazzite because they put gaming.
Yes.
We're like, it should be like the tip of the game in a loading screen. You know how your PlayStation does that? Yeah,
exactly. I like it a lot. Right. Like that's going to help me more in the long run.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bazzite, I want to get into that a little bit later.
Yeah. We're going to get into that.
And some games. I want to know how I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it is an iGPU, but it's the AMD one's pretty good. So you're going to be able to get some good gaming.
No, all I want to be able to do is play Civilization 6. That's it. Right. Like that's the minimum requirement.
That should run.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. No, it should be like it runs awesome on my iPad when it's actually supported. So yeah, like it should be fine.
All right. Well, you're going to click on that same icon and you're going to type Steam and go, and then that should work.
Okay. This same flat seal dealio?
No, you don't have to do any of that. Yeah.
Oh, I don't have to do any of this?
No, you're going to go into that App Store thing that you.
Oh, okay.
Right there. Now type Steam in the search.
Steam links.
And then click on that one.
Okay.
And then you're going to go.
Woo! Now explain to me how you're handling Flatpak.
Yeah, so this also, speaking about things that annoy me about normal Linuxes.
Yes.
In other distros, there's like see us as FlatHub. Click that drop down.
Oh
it's going to do that. But don't load that because that's going to download a client, and that's going to be a hot mess. Do that later.
Yep.
So in here, much gnashing of teeth on the internet is like, do we put Flatpaks here, RPMs? Right. Because remember, traditional Linux distros are conflating system packages with end user packages. And we are purposely, as part of this model, moving away from that, right? It's like, nope, you're going to get this. And now your system packages, you don't touch. Those are going to be image based. Yes. And you're going to have that managed experience, right? So we had to get this right. And then on top of that, we had to decide, are we going to do user Flatpaks, which you can install in your home directory, or do your system Flatpaks? And then each of those has its pros and cons, right? So like, if you install in your user directory, then like you get it, right? But then if you share it with your wife and she has her own account, she's not going to get those apps, right? So they're like, okay, so she installs Chrome, and now you have two versions of Chrome, which we will keep all of them up to date, but then it just becomes kind of this mess. So we're kind of defaulting to system packages. And if you prefer user packages, you know how to Linux, right? So you know
exactly
how to attack that user.
And that makes sense to me, right? Like it's entirely possible my wife might have an account on this box. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
who really knows?
Yeah.
You
And
know?
also remember when we're talking about Bazite and Bluefin and stuff,
Mhm.
they are both still 99% Fedora, right? So
Right.
I'm a huge gamer, but I game on Bluefin via the Steam Flatpak, right? And I'm
Yeah.
7900 XTX and it maxes out my 21:9 monitor. We're playing Helldivers every night. And it is probably the S tier, you know,
Yeah.
144 hertz. It's like maxed out. It's
Right.
beautiful. Like it's
Oh,
just the perfect experience, right? But
right.
Bazite is very, very specific to gamers, right? So if you have the VR headset, trying to get that
Oh.
work with the flat pack, then it gets a little hairy there, right?
Well,
Plus they are supporting handhelds and a bunch of stuff. So in that case, it
right.
makes sense. So
Yeah.
what I tell people is like, if you're a dedicated gamer, like me in college would have ran Bazite, right?
Right.
And then I got a job and I have to run Bluefin, right? Like that's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But remember, 99% Fedora. The reason we don't call this a distro is we are shipping config as an atomic thing on top
Right.
of Fedora, right? So it's
Right.
this is the equivalent of me going to your house and being like, this is the hookup, boom, 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 boom. And
Mhm.
then we do change some things in Fedora. So see the minimize, maximize, and close buttons?
Yeah.
Like in vanilla GNOME, they don't have that. They
No.
just have close
Close.
because they want you to use workspaces more, right?
Right.
In the top
No.
right.
I hate workspaces, to be honest with you.
So I love workspaces, but I also have
Well,
the
I
other,
mean, to an extent,
buttons.
right? Like,
Yeah,
I probably should have the Chrome session on another workspace that I'm not
yeah.
using directly. So, like, that'd be good for that.
Mhm.
But, like,
And this will help you if you look at the top left, not the Fedora logo. See that
mhm.
pill-looking thing, top left.
Yeah.
Yeah, click on that.
Yeah.
That's like your workspace thing. So as you add more workspaces,
Yeah.
this gives you like that little, I don't know what Mac people call it, expose, whatever. I don't know, whatever it
Yeah.
is you,
No, I like it.
whatever you people use.
Whatever it is you use.
Yeah, whatever it is you use.
Can you just toss this over? No, you can't. Oh, that's fun.
I think if you super out, like click it again,
Yeah.
and now I think, can you toss that over to a separate workspace?
Ooh. Yes.
Yeah, there
Cool.
you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That just
And
works.
I think by default we have dynamic ones, so you can create as many as you want.
Nice.
I do
There it
4
is.
static. I'm old school.
Oh.
It's like 4. That's my jam.
Yeah. I'm not sure what screen sharing is doing with my mouse icon. It looks a little like reversed and skewed.
Yeah, I
But
don't know.
it looks fine on the laptop itself. I don't know what the
Okay.
deal is. So
Good to know. Fix 4. That's the way. Brian settles it.
I hear you.
Hit escape. Yep. And all right. So close this. Another area where we make some changes. Top
Mhm.
right. If you can click that menu,
Oh,
you can close Steam now and just leave it in the background. Yeah.
Yeah. Just get rid of that.
Yeah.
Flat seal. Close that. This
Okay.
I like.
So we made some changes here.
Mhm.
Is from the default. So first of all, there's this tray icon spec that's been around the Linux desktop forever. It's like horrible. Like I had to work on it with Ted Gould.
Mm.
Anyway, everyone wants to get rid of it. But like all the old apps like Discord, Steam, and stuff still use this legacy tray.
Yeah.
So like GNOME and Fedora turn it off, and I turn it back on because I'm just like I just don't care. I'm just like whatever. Yeah, like just get out of my face.
Right.
So I turn it like we turn it on. The way we manage GNOME extensions is we package them, and if they are in Fedora, we do that. That avoids the extensions. Oh, I upgraded. Why are all my extensions broken? Because we package those.
Yeah.
And also for those of you that are nerds out there, for Bluefin GTS, we default to Fedora -1. So you are actually now on Fedora 39, even though Fedora 40 comes out. So we won't cover this now.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you can always rebase to a newest image, but
right.
Yeah, we've always all been of the opinion Fedora moves like really fast, right? Like
it moves incredibly fast.
Yeah, so like being -1, and they also backport the kernels to the older versions. So like you're never going to be on a like if you look at enterprise Linux kernels right now, they're like what 5.15 or something.
If
like
you're
going to be, you're going to be like a point release or behind at most, and that's nice. The reason is I like to keep the nice slower cadence. I'm trying to find that Ubuntu sweet spot, which is a little bit slower than Fedora. It used to be the other way. Right now they're reversed. Fedora is faster, and Ubuntu is more of the in the middle, right? But not quite. But I also don't want an LTS or an enterprise Linux, right? I want I want a little bit there. So that's how we kind of do it. And what's really nice is when you do get the upgrades, you'll go from mature version of Fedora to mature version of Fedora, and you don't have to go through the first half of the cycle, which can be, depending on your hardware, that may or may not be what you want. What's
Right.
really great about the atomic model, you can rebase forwards and backwards after you've gone forwards. So it's kind of, once you've decided to go forward, you can go back, and that's the equivalent. If
it's very important because you can't just do that on Mac OS.
Yeah, and also normal, like if you had Ubuntu, right? It's like going to LTS, and then you're like, oh, I need a new thing, and then you upgrade to the point release. If you want to go back, that's a restore, right? Or a reinstall.
Ouch.
And sure, but that's like 5 minutes if you're lucky, right? And there's always something. So like being able to, and you can also pin these snapshots. So boom, boom, boom. In addition to that, because we do build these as container images, we have 90 days, at least 90 days. That's what the SLA says. So we can never say over 90 days, even though they do hold a bunch. You can always rebase to any one of those previous days, right? So if you're like, this thing used to work and now it doesn't. We've had people do this, especially with Bazite, because the gaming stuff moves fast. It's like, what day did this break? And they will go, people will go and they'll figure out the exact day. And that helps us narrow it down. All right, what commits did we change in that part of the thing that day? Oh, okay, boom, 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 boom. And that's why the Bazite team can be really efficient. All of our users, first of all, are on the same image, right? So it removes a lot of the, on my machine, right? Which still can happen. People layer stuff. But when we see a status, we know right away, right? Like, yep, you layered that. That's why that's busted, So that also means our community, when they report an issue, right? Their reports are like way more, they don't get lost in the noise, right? Because it's relatively straightforward for someone to check it, right? And almost every time it comes up, someone's like, yep, I can see it right away. Yep. And then they're already. And then as soon as Kyle pushes, he can click the build button if he wants, or if not, the automation just builds a new image the next day and you'll just get it in the next update. And that's how application containers are managed in the real world, right? So having that as our operating system, as our operating system is now, that's clutch, right? Like that's what I want, right? That's why we can really punch above our weight, right? There's been 172 drive-by contributors, and at any given time, there's about 5 full-time contributors. And we have a concept called chill ops, where sometimes people say, hey, I'm in, I went hard for 6 months, right? And then I'm going to go, we put them in chill ops, right? Because it's like, we don't want this to be a job, right? We want nice, healthy rotation.
That's good.
And that kind of stuff. So really the only constant is me being around, and that's getting it. It's going to be time for me to chill ops soon here.
If a lot of my communities did not have the concept of co-leads, I would not be a lead in very many things, right?
That's why I say I'm a co-maintainer, right? Because there will be a cycle where I'm not here, right? So we try to have a flat structure. Yeah.
And to be clear, I'm referencing the Kubernetes contributor communications team. Caslin Fields and I are co-leads for that.
Yep.
And sometimes Caslin's busy with actual real world stuff.
Yeah.
And it's me. And when something hits the fan in Kubernetes land and Caslin's gone, okay, it's me.
Yeah.
But vice versa also applies. Sometimes I have to go do stuff, like go to London with 2 hours notice. Or however long it was.
I sympathize.
No, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh, Caslin, it's you this week. Sorry.
Yeah. So if you were just in London, trivia tip, Bluefin was the building that Canonical used to have as an office in London. So that's kind of because the image originally was called Ubuntu, but I can't call it that, right? Once we realized it was pretty awesome and people would use it, we're like, oh, we better come up with a name. Anyway, this pill section here, GS Connect, we add by default.
What is GS Connect?
That is, you will install an app on your phone. Okay. And then that will let you message through it, send files to it and stuff. Basically, phone to OS integration out of the box. You got to have it.
I mean, pretty much. It's like a must-have for me nowadays.
Yeah. And then, oh man, dude, we have this tool that we recommend called LocalSend, localsend.org. Someone want to check that out? It's just a
Oh, yeah,
cool
yeah,
little
yeah.
app that just lets you zap stuff throughout your
Mhm.
network. That thing's
I've
always
got that on
baller.
my phone. I think you
Yeah,
told me about it, yeah.
yeah. So GS Connect, definitely put that on the radar. The KDE, so that's called GS Connect. The
Mhm.
KDE version is called K Connect. Is it K Connect? KDE Connect? I don't
Something
know. It
like
starts,
that.
of course, it starts with a K, and this one starts with a G.
Right.
Um, yeah, but it's really nice because it's like cross desktop and like this is what people use. It's really, I don't understand why it's not there by default.
But,
But
like,
2024 mobile integration is finally here at the Linux
what am I
desktop.
using on an iPhone to make this
KDE
work?
Connect is what it's called.
Oh, okay. Fine.
That should work on an iPhone, right? I'm pretty sure they have an
I
iPhone app.
mean, that's what's there. That's why I was asking. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's what you want.
which
Yeah.
one? Okay, so let's
Oh,
see.
and Sunday says it has a clipboard sync. Woo, baller. Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
So one thing I want to do, I wish they would do this. I need to file this. Is I hate that it says GS Connect. Just say like iPhone 6.
Right. Right.
So that
Like,
because even when you pair it, it doesn't say the name, and I wish it. Oh, look at that.
see, I'm doing it. Here we go. Accept. Sharing with Fedora succeeded. All right. So now what's it say? Okay.
Yeah, but
Taz
click on
is
the
the name
drop
on my
down.
phone.
Yeah,
Oh,
you could do the business.
okay. Nice.
Is it ringing?
No, it just vibrated a lot.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
I can
And then
change
if you
that.
slide over to the right, you're going to find Tailscale, which is the VPN solution. So VPNs are kind
Yeah.
of a sore spot here on Atomic Distros.
So
Um,
we're gonna stumble on this if you make me log in. I'm just gonna let
no,
you
no,
guys
no.
know.
We oh,
Okay.
no, we don't have to like anything that makes you have to type in a password. Let's just not do that.
Okay.
So I think let's just do a feature highlight. You know,
Yes.
but I do have this in the docs for some of this stuff, especially Tailscale. You will have to use the command line app to configure it, and then this
Yeah.
becomes a toggle afterwards. Yeah, it's not as nice. So please donate to this extension so that we can get it
Yeah.
nice and rocking
I
and rolling.
mean,
But yeah,
the settings here are great, but the fact that I can't like log in, there's no login button.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, it's like,
yeah.
okay.
So on Atomic Distros, VPNs are kind of problematic because a lot of them need access, right? So
Hmm.
um, usually in like upstream Fedora Silverblue, you have to layer that if they offer an RPM. The reason I chose Tailscale is Tailscale
Right.
is awesome, but they also recently started offering Mulvad through it. So I just pay for Mulvad through Tailscale, and that adds the exit node for the VPN. So when I'm on the road, I'm always through
Okay.
Mulvad.
I
Yeah,
did not know that. I
yeah,
will be
and
fixing
it's
that later.
$5 a month
Uh, sh-
instead of five
Can you
euros per
can
month.
you
So it's
pick
actually
a
cheaper.
location? Does it actually let you pick the
Yeah.
location and everything?
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
paying
So
$120 a month for that right now.
you are?
Yes. Or
What are
not a
you?
month, but a year. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
That
All
would
right.
be
That would
nuts
work
a
out.
month. No, I'm
Yeah.
not paying $120 a month for
Yeah.
that.
It's like,
That'd
oh
be
man, it's
absolutely absurd.
enterprise grade. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So I like that because it's actually cheaper than normal Mulvad. Because if you go to their website, it's €5.
Right.
So like, yeah. So I go into my Tailscale. I pay $5 a month. All my devices can do an exit node. So when I'm actually doing work on the airplane and stuff like that and doing container business, it's
Mhm.
actually all executing on my home lab, and I'm just
That's awesome.
yeah, because Delta Wi-Fi is free now. Ding. So having Tailscale
Some
there is
exclusions apply.
I've it's been totally free every time I've flying, but still a
Dude, I had to
relatively bigger.
pay money. I mean, it's cheaper now too, but I
Yeah.
had to pay money going to Paris. I had to pay money going to London, and on the way back from London, it did not work at all.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Any questions about the top right? Actually, let's ask the any audience have questions or things you
Yeah,
haven't
I
seen
mean,
yet.
like, here's Bluetooth stuff.
Oh, Garrett says pausing media when phone calls come in is really handy. Ooh,
That's
that
awesome.
has not happened to me. I need to make that happen. Yep.
Oh, and yeah, that reminds me, I need to get, like, my Sonos stuff working with this.
Yeah. So I'm wearing them now, the Sony headset, and they
Mhm.
connect fine. And it says the model number and stuff of your headset underneath on that little pill. I really like that.
Yeah, that's
Oh, what
nice.
do you got
Okay.
going on here?
Oh, there's a lot of shit in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I have no idea what this is, or this for that matter. That's kinda creepy. These are vacuums. That's obviously a TV.
Vacuum cleaners?
Vacuums, like robot
Oh, like
vacuums.
robotic. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was like, man, you
Yeah, I guess I have to also put something in discovery
Yeah.
mode.
Joseph said this. I want to make sure we get this on a video. A lot of VPN providers do provide a WireGuard config, and you can
Yes.
import that into Network Manager.
So I actually do that on my NAS.
Great point.
Yeah.
Great tip.
It's really nice.
Yep. Now let's look top left here, because this is where the real magic happens.
So this I was interested in this little deal. So we go from this, we go over here.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. This is cool.
Yeah.
Like this makes life a little easier. But then I saw this container.
Yeah. So save that one for last.
Okay.
Save that one for last.
So like the app grid is kind of obvious, right?
Yep.
Like so is about my system.
Yep.
Sorry. So is about my system. Like I hope you've seen this dialogue.
Yeah, you could change your host name to something cool there, all that good stuff.
Like I thought I changed it, but I guess not. I've decided like I use Looney Tunes names. So
oh yeah, you gotta
Michigan J Frog is the name of this one. And yeah. So like just let everybody know, George said, hey, it's V39 of Fedora. Absolutely correct. Here's my
date tag. Nice.
Here's my CPU, GPU dealio.
64 gigs in a
64
like
gigs
that.
of RAM.
Could you ever believe we would ever
no
technology?
No, like I remember when 64 megabytes of RAM was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Let's see if there's anything here.
Yeah,
but this is just the normal settings
that you get. Normal, like from settings.
Strong recommend there's a search box in the top left on the settings. If you always forget, because I'm like,
yeah.
Yep.
There's extensions.
Yep, we'll do that one.
I'm not sure what that opens. I know what system monitor.
So this is your GNOME extensions. People have opinions about GNOME extensions. So here's where you configure them. Like if you're like, I want to turn off the blur. Caffeine, you notice we added, you could turn that one on. I want you to turn that one on so I could show it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, just click on that button to make it blue.
Sorry, I'm not
There you go. Now go back into your top right thing.
Okay.
And you see that caffeine that will keep your computer
awake.
Yeah, without the lock screen.
Well, I noticed that hibernating was like enabled by default, and that's annoying as hell for me. So
you mean suspend? Yeah, hibernation.
Or suspend. Like I would love to make that off by default.
Yeah. So
if that's my first contribution, I would be happy to do that.
Yep. You want to do that now? I can show you where that is.
Okay, sure. No, I mean I know where it is. I already did.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like I was just like, no, I cannot deal with that in a live stream. Absolutely not.
So this is useful. I use caffeine a lot to make sure my screen doesn't lock when I'm watching stuff or
user themes, Windows.
Yeah, I have my homebrew merge queue that I watch live all day.
Oh, nice.
Well, some of these are default. What we're gonna do eventually,
I like that. Okay,
is have extensions in the config applet that will say,
nice.
Our community recommends this, and we'll put like the baller ones in there. Because you can't get extensions through the app store, so that's like annoying.
Could I change that to Bluefin?
So here's the thing. So like that kind of overlay is like very dated to me.
Oh,
so the
really?
first, so I actually turned it off on purpose.
Okay.
But I wanted to ensure that Fedora got the branding right.
Right.
So that's why it's a Fedora F on the
got it
on the logo menu. So they don't ship. Everything I'm pointing out to you are like the differences between us and upstream Silverblue. But
and you
that
can
little
search for new ones.
Yeah. So this is also great. You can search for extensions in here, but it doesn't have screenshots or anything fun. However, if you open up your browser and go to extensions.gnome.org, it has screenshots and ratings, and you click, and then it'll open that thing, and then it'll install it. So.
Oh, whoops! I gotta actually open a new window.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. Extensions.gnome.
Yep. Extensions with an S.
Yes, that one. Ooh. Okay, what's your favorite one?
So I would definitely not do popularity because that screen hasn't changed in like 5 years.
I would figure that.
I just changed the downloads.
Yeah.
And let me see if we can find a good one.
Open weather. I want weather.
Okay. You want weather. All right, let's do it. Hit install.
Okay.
Open XDG open. There you go. Extension manager, hit open. Yep.
Okay. What'd you do?
So usually click on the notification. The extension manager is behind your browser window. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this one's unsupported. What is up with this one? That is weird. You could do that, but let's go back and then just search for weathers. Let's see if we can find a nice supported one. That's what we want.
Okay. Yeah. It's hard for me to get used to where the control key is on the keyboard.
just watching Mac people on these things. I'm so entertained.
It's like I hit Alt so many times, I can't even tell you. And then like when I want function, my brain just flips. Like I might actually relay them out.
What you can do. Yeah, I set my caps lock as an extra control, actually.
Yeah, I might do something like that. So just weather here would be fine.
Yeah, let's see. Let's look at that one. Oh, that looks sexy. Yeah, let's do it.
Sexy. I've never called software sexy, and actually,
gnome with that blur. Oh, come on.
Oh,
you love it.
No.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed the wallpapers change day and night, so they follow like a cycle.
I love that.
You're on spring, and it's summertime. That'll change to a summer.
Yeah, so like
seasonal.
I actually made, or you sent me the link to all the artwork, and I was like, "Is all this stuff in the OS? Like, is it baked in?" And I went and looked, and I'm like, "It is."
Yeah,
okay, cool. And it does change. I saw it change between turning it on and coming down here. So yeah.
Switch back to the extension manager because window management is hard sometimes.
Oh, where to go?
In GNOME,
also unsupported.
That seems strange.
Yes, it is.
You know, that is strange. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's try it this way. GNOME moment. Close the browser.
Okay.
Yeah, kill this thing. Yeah.
Sorry.
Nope. Go back. There you go. That thing. And then just type weather in here. This should only show you the ones that are supported.
That works. Yeah. Okay. Display.
Weather clock is good. I've heard it. I've used that one.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like, oh no, this GNOME extension is unmaintained, and then you go and you find, and it's like open weather refined or extension name actually maintained.
All right. So where did it?
Okay. Now go back to installed.
Okay.
Oh, the tab. Nope.
Oh.
The tab on the top of the window that says browse. Nope. Left. Left more.
No, I'm clicking it.
No, that's browse. You're on browse. You want to go to installed.
Oh, okay.
Right there. Yeah. And then scroll down till you find weather.
It's
on. This is you probably have to log out and log back in. So
well,
that's fine. Yeah.
Later. I'll do it later because I'll break.
Yeah, because we'd have to rejoin the session and stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
We got that. I apologize that you had to experience the GNOME extension ecosystem this way.
It's fine. I mean,
this is what we consider good, right? It's like,
yeah, exactly.
It's amazing, and I'm like, kill me. All right, so click on the Fedora thing again.
Okay.
We're gonna do containers next, and then also open the terminal, which is either there or is also up there. Yeah, and then move this off to the side. Yep. So this is Tixis, Ptyxys. It's pronounced Tixis.
Tixis?
Tixis. Yeah, but I just say it's the terminal.
Yeah, like I hadn't heard of it until.
Yeah, you probably didn't know. You probably didn't know.
I had no idea what this was.
Oh, so before we go into this, do Windows key space, super space.
Wait, what?
No, at the same time.
Oh, sorry.
Yep. Now type Chrome or something. Yeah, this is like your FileLight, your search light thing. Yeah. This is like an extension, which I found out recently, and I was like, we have to have this.
Yes.
So super space really quick will give you a thing, and it'll search all your stuff. And then we bound it to the same key that you're used to on your Mac. So that's baller. So this is now where the container thing comes in. So you're on a host terminal and you're using Brew, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, there are going to be cases where you want a pet container or something like that. So we give this called Box Buddy. Podman is crucial to the Linux desktop now. That is a container runtime, and that's what lets us run everything from everywhere, right? So click plus. and then you are going to create, call this test or whatever.
I'll name it George.
Yep. And then click the drop down and pick what you want.
Does the audience have a preference here? We've got them all.
Something small, I recommend Alpine. Sorry, Alpine. Like that? Any F1 fans in the crowd? And if you're an Alpine fan, I do apologize.
Let's see. I'm going to do 316 just because.
Don't worry. We're going to talk about the KDE thing here in a minute. If you like everything you're seeing here, but you want KDE, Aurora is the name of that. But that will be a separate.
I haven't used KDE since the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm missing. Like I used it in the 90s because it was actually a little bit better than GNOME or easier to use than GNOME.
Yeah, I used KDE 2 in the past, when I was
older. Like way back in the day. Yeah.
So if you like all this, but you're like, I want KDE, got you covered. It's called Aurora. Someone toss the URL in the chat, please, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, well, I mean, I could.
And we literally build it out of the same repo.
Right.
It's just instead of from Fedora Silverblue, the pattern is from Fedora Kino White, which is their KDE version. So
beautiful.
It's beautiful. Some awesome people really made this really nice and slick. And then click create. Boom.
You don't know.
And then you got to wait for this. So this happens the first time you create it. We have in the ublueOS org, we have pre-made distro boxes for you that have the packages installed to allow for instant launch, because I hate this. And then we do put some convenience features in there. Like I make a Wolfie box that's like amazing and it has like pass through. And
well, why didn't you tell me to spend that up?
Because I don't think it's listed in the GUI. And we got a lot of duct tape going on here at this point, So I'm kind of showing you the treaded path. We do manage these boxes. Actually do this. Hit Control-Alt-U. And something is going to happen in the background. So if something happens, so I also like to have ephemeral containers, and hit Control-Alt-F for me also. I love to have ephemeral containers because sometimes you're like, blah, 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 blah. What version? Close this. This is a bug. And now Control-Alt-U again.
Control-Alt-U.
Yep. And the Fedora one came up fine. So Control-U and Control-F are alias to a Fedora toolbox and a Ubuntu toolbox. So you can.
That's rad.
If you never use these, they're never on your system. But what we wanted to do here is like sometimes it's like I got to see what's in Ubuntu for a package, or I need to
love
DNF
that
search
because oh my god, I have to do that so often.
Yep.
Like what is it in this and what is it in that? Just because
exactly. So you could be like, here are the 5 cloud providers I care about. Assign them to keyboard shortcuts. Now close them all again and then launch 1 or 2.
Like, is there what is
Alt F4 will kill them all. Actually, if you hit that quad grid icon looking thing, that might do the business. Close this also. Just close all your terminals.
Grid. Okay, yeah, never mind. This one too.
Yep. And then close this.
All right.
All right. Now hit Control-Alt-U and Control-Alt-F. See how instant that was?
Dude, that's awesome.
That's what I want to get you out of the box. Not quite there yet. Right.
Okay. But I love the fact they're the colors of the OS. It's kind of brilliant, George.
And you did this. I was like, you gotta make me a better Ubuntu than Ubuntu, right? And what's a better Ubuntu than the Ubuntu container image, which is baller, right?
It's great.
So do this. Do we install NeoFetch on this by default? Try it. Try NeoFetch.
What? Just
type NeoFetch.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad.
Do we have this installed? Yeah. There you go. And then in the Fedora one, type NeoFetch. So how do you install a package in Fedora? Do a DNF install NeoFetch.
Okay. I'm gonna be crazy. Oh, not HY.
Just Y, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I fat fingered it.
Sudo bang bang. Sudo bang bang. For those of you who don't know, you can always sudo bang bang will run the previous command with sudo.
the bash shortcuts
That's
are
the
awesome.
greatest Unix tip of all time. You'd be surprised,
Mhm.
man. There are people who wrote Kubernetes who didn't know that.
Yeah, I
It
know.
makes you feel good.
Right, like,
But
every time I can bust out a command line thing for somebody, I feel happy.
like you will never learn any of all of this, right? So like
Right.
anytime you get, yeah,
Yeah. Like, that's like, people are like, "Oh, what's homebrew?" And I'm like,
man,
"Well, I've
that
been
is
using it on"
fast. That was
God,
fast.
like, 1 terabyte NVMe,
Yeah, it's just
64 gigs of
yeah,
RAM,
and that's
this
old DNF
AMD
too. That's not even the
processor.
fast one, I don't think. Oh
Right, like,
wait,
this is the 5. This is the Series
is this
5, not the
5?
7.
No, no, I'm talking about DNF.
Oh, I don't yeah, this is
Yeah,
DNF.
yeah, because there's supposed to be a new fetch. Anyway, now type neofetch.
Okay.
That was way faster than it should have been. Chat, do you agree? I've never seen DNF move that fast.
I've seen DNF move that fast. You just
All
don't know
right.
good
Show
DNF.
the drop down and pick this. Don't worry, we're gonna get there, Brian. We're gonna get there. All right.
This
So
drop down?
no, hold on. I'll
Or
get there. Sorry, I was
this
cheating.
drop
You weren't
down?
supposed to. Yeah,
Oh,
not yet, not yet.
okay.
So see that icon in the top right? It's like the 4 squares. It looks like a 4 square.
Yes.
Yeah, click on that.
Rah. Ooh.
Yeah. So once you do that,
Oh.
that will be all. So if you have, yeah, if you want to do all that business,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you're on a tab. Now, however, type ls in here,
Mhm.
your home directory. Type ls in your Ubuntu container and the Fedora container. Yep.
Wow.
So the tool we use, DistroBox, transparently mounts your home directory. So
That's
you just
awesome.
have your shit. It's so good.
You just
You just
have
have it.
it's there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Now top
awesome.
left, click that drop down for me.
Top left,
Right
this
there. Yep.
guy.
And each of these is available as like a drop down for
Ooh,
you. Yeah.
that's
Um,
awesome.
yep. And now go back in your Fedora menu because there is a command line tool to manage all of these.
This thing?
Nope, very top, the Fedora, the logo menu.
Oh,
Not the Fedora terminal.
Sorry,
That thing.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. You're getting the crash. It's like your first day. I was like, come on, man. Why didn't you know? All right.
What are you doing?
Come on. I'm trying to be as less Linux as possible. Now click on containers again.
Okay.
So if you want to set all these up graphically, you can just do it this way.
You could
Right?
do it
And
this
then
way
in
too.
here, you can set keyboard shortcuts. And if you install an app in there, like if there's an app that you need and it's
Mhm.
only a deb, you can open the Ubuntu terminal, install it, and then pin it to your dock, and then it'll do the thing.
Wow. That's awesome.
However, with the Fedora and Ubuntu ones, these are managed by Podman Quadlets because
Ooh.
one of the things I don't like about upstream Fedora is they give you a toolbox, but it's a pet. And I hate that. Right.
Yes.
But sometimes you need a pet. Right. So if you want a
Right.
pet, you're going to go into Box Buddy and you're going to make your pet. Right.
Mhm. Okay.
However, by default, we want these to be ephemeral. So every day they will get destroyed, they will get updated. Right. So it's like a nice clean experience every time. So I like this because sometimes I want an Ubuntu terminal, but then it goes away. So like that's the way to go. What I would prefer to pet containers is dev containers in the IDE, declarative, checked in per project per Git, right? But
That'd
getting
be
people
dope.
there who don't know how to use containers is like the mission, and that will be a long one. So for now,
Yeah. That's a
you
good
know,
point.
yeah, because what I don't like about this pattern is that it encourages people to use these like little VMs, right? And there's
Yeah.
people who's like, I have 5 of them. I installed the IDE in each. I
Yeah,
saw a
yeah,
post
yeah,
someone
yeah.
installed
Oh my
VS Code
god.
inside of each of one of these, and I'm like, oh god,
Ah,
yeah. So like, there's work to do there. Joe Beta, one of the co-creators of Kubernetes, I was showing this to him. I was like, I'm so frustrated.
Thanks,
Thanks, Brian.
Brian.
And I was like, man, I duct taped the thing together and I don't know how to explain it. So he's been giving me feedback and stuff. And one of the reasons now that we've gone GA is get people like you using it who are using containers, right? And it's like,
Mhm.
tell me the pattern we should be teaching people, right? Because at the end of the
Right.
day, it's supposed to be a teaching tool, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, these are your containers. Open your
I mean,
host.
this is great. Like, I don't have to
Yeah.
say the ridiculous Podman RMI image name, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
and you shouldn't have to. Yeah,
Yeah.
but show this real quick. Open a terminal, which the host is always bound to Control Alt T.
Okay. I like that. Control Alt T. Off we
Yep.
go.
And then type Podman list. or a Podman LS. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, duh.
LS-A.
I'm
Yeah.
an idiot. Yeah. What do you mean no A?
It's a Podman.
Jesus.
Podman
Yes.
PSA. Yeah. Container nerds everywhere.
We can do this.
Totally
We
listen
do
to
this
me.
for a living.
Yeah,
We promise. Yes.
yeah.
Neither one of us is tired.
Yeah. So now, yeah. Go ahead and open and maximize this.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Does it? Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So as you see there, the Ubuntu toolbox, the Fedora toolbox, we created those. It'll show. So you manage these like you would a normal thing.
Good.
Now type Docker PSA.
Oh, you have an alias here. Oh.
Actually, we need to add you to the group. So it is.
Why isn't that done just by default?
So we thought about that.
Yeah.
And you have to opt because you have to opt in to put yourself in the Docker group because that is rootful. What is the thing I'm supposed to say?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, you have to opt in. Unfortunately, I wanted
that
to,
makes
but
sense.
we can't.
That makes sense, right? Like
however,
you're escalating privileges.
However, we alias that for you into something nice. Type this. You just space -- choose and hit enter.
Wow.
All right. So here's all the crap we can't automate. Right. So this is like,
okay.
We didn't want to do like uBlueCuddle.
Oh.
Yeah. So if we look
Wait, is this installed by default? Atuin?
No. So if you want to install Atuin, you hit enter here and it will do that for you.
Okay, I'll try it later. Oh, okay.
No, it's fully automated. Boom. Now close your terminal and reopen it.
Oh my gosh. Come on.
Control T, hit up. That's a key. There you go. You have Atuin now. Atuin's amazing.
It is
sync between your history.
Yes.
I GitHub sponsor this project. It is like one of my favorite Unix tools of all time. No BS.
I need to sponsor it. You're absolutely right. If I'm not already.
You just choose again.
Okay, choose. Or
you just
it doesn't have it.
Yeah, we should probably import your old one. That's a good
good
point. Tip. Yeah. I was kind of thinking of a new install there. And we are looking for groups. So type groups, DX group, and hold on the right there, it will tell you what it's going to execute, which is like really important because you need to be able to inspect what we're doing. And we want to be transparent about that. Right. So we're going to add you to the Docker group, the Incus group, the LXD group, libvirt, because we include all that stuff and you're a developer. So, you're going to use it. Nice. So we do that. And then you're going to have to log out.
Okay.
Docker, you are getting real Docker. Like we build that as part of the image. There's no aliases. There's no Podman compose. There's none of that. Like we are using Podman for system containers and Docker containers for application development. That's one of those things where it's like we were kind of spending a lot of effort being like, well, should we alias this thing? Should we have it? No, you're going to have to log out and log back in of your sessions.
Oh, the whole thing.
Of the whole, yeah.
Oh,
don't worry about that.
That's right. Never mind.
Yeah, you could type new group, new GRP. People say that works, but I've never seen that work. I don't know. What does the audience say? Try that.
Okay.
And now try to run the Docker. Oh, yeah. See, everyone says that works. I've never seen that work. Anyway, when you reboot all your Docker, the socket will be there. VS Code will connect to it. It won't. And then your VS Code, we do, even though you don't use VS Code, we include the dev containers extension and the remote connection extension. So you should be able to go right into your dev containers and create new stuff.
Nice.
And you should be good. This one's good. Type this one. Just hit enter on that one. The change logs.
Yeah.
This will tell you the change log in the last images, which is like really handy. So that was the update that you did. And as you can see that, it's just a Fedora change
all
logs.
the way back. Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And then go back into the chooser. We're just going to browse through a few of these actually, if you don't mind.
No, it's fine.
Let's go to the very top.
Oh, Llama's in here.
Oh yeah. So this one, man, this is freaking baller.
What am I doing? Wait.
So that's update. Don't do that one because that will update everything at once. That'll take a while. But we do upgrade everything for you. Like we'll upgrade brew, your containers, all that stuff. But go to Olama and just go to the right so you can see what we're doing here. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I did that too fast.
Yeah. Don't run it. We're actually going to show it, and it aired out. That's weird. I just ran that the other
Yeah,
day.
no, yeah.
So we will detect if the system has an NVIDIA card or an AMD card and do the right thing.
Okay.
We include ROCm, so this is amazing, especially on the Framework 16. The
Uh-huh.
demo I want to give is like, and we shred through Llama, so we have that there. Although there was an error I saw.
You want me to run it again?
Yeah. Let's see what that's all about.
A Llama container already exists.
Oh, did you try to run it before? Oh, you.
No.
All right.
Oh, I don't. Wait.
And you also need to install the client, but the
Okay.
service should have fired up.
What do we want to troubleshoot first?
Let's not troubleshoot. Let's just.
Okay.
I will go through these errors later, and then we will figure out what's going on. But yeah, I mean, you could type that, or we can keep going through the. How are we doing on time? All right, an hour and 15. Let's try to cap it at 2. We don't want to get too long here. So DistroBox new and assemble. If you go down, so we give you default boxes, and then there's that drop down. But if you want a command line thing, you can get an Arch container. Like we assemble it for you or whatever. This one is useful. I do not understand why distros do not do this. Device info, hit that one. Matt, if you're still listening, this is my favorite. Hit enter. It grabs your status and all your D message and it shoves it into a paste bin. So like in your help channels, you could be just like, boom, look at the QR code. I don't understand why we just haven't been doing that for 15 years. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right. So instead of type me all your status, you could just say, you just device info. It's consistent. We keep it all in one place.
That's awesome.
And by default, the CentOS paste bin deletes it in 24 hours. So that's nice.
Oh, cool.
All right. What else we got in here? Any other goodies? Let's see it.
Screen share.
Anyone have? Yeah. So that's a vestigial one. That's that X Wayland. Oh God, let's not go through that one.
Okay.
This is just pain.
Yeah.
Everything's just pain. Just close your eyes. NVIDIA drivers will come out in the next month, and then all this Wayland X thing will be over.
Got it.
I do not promise. Let's see. Logs of your last boot, your previous boot. PyTorch will do an accelerated PyTorch setup for you. Okay. I'm gonna change this to the chain guard image, which is like nice and small.
Cool.
Let's see.
I don't want to remove root. Oh, so you set up Cockpit for me? That's nice.
Yeah. So what we want to do is on your home lab, you run Cockpit, right? And you can do all your clients, and it's like your. That's going to be someday. That's going to be our open source version of a Chromebook killer, right? Because people like Chromebooks for the management, not just the cheap computers, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And some folks with the Ultramarine project at Fira Labs, they got Bluefin running on an x86 Chromebook with a stock firmware. So it's like, 2024 going to be interesting. And then the last one, let me just show the update. So if you type, just update the very bottom one. Toggle updates is interesting. If you go on a trip and you're like, nope, no daily updates.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. That's kind of brilliant.
Yeah. And also when you travel, remember these are container layers and we do not have diffs yet. So they can get a little thirsty, like especially on DX because the image is a little large. But I'm in communications with the Podman team and stuff. We're going to get our container diffs.
Hence why I've got a terabyte drive.
Yeah. But hey, you can also, if you're storage averse, wait, do you see how much Llama downloads? Oh my God.
God.
Just do an update and just hit enter. So here we use a tool called Top Grade that will go, there it is, updating the containers that you made.
Wow.
And it updates the entire system. So like one of the bummers, someone told me, I can't believe I have to deal with this. Someone was like, I love this, but I miss updating my Linux, right? And I was like, well, we made that problem go away, but it also, I don't know, it's oddly satisfying, hit Q. It's oddly satisfying to like do the Linux thing, right? So it's like, well, if you're going to do a manual update, we're going to make it look baller, right?
Right.
So there's a tool called Top Grade, which has a GitHub repo, and it's just a script or a program that finds all of the package managers on your system and upgrades them, right? And then it just gives you, so it's like even our manual update is like awesome looking. And when I ran this on an old system, on my old Ubuntu system, and I had forgotten how much stuff you install and you forget about.
Oh my God.
Pip, cargo,
awful.
NPM. And I was just like, man, this is just computers are a mess. So
It's
yeah.
terrible, dude.
So this gives you that, if you're like, I dig this, but that whole automatic update thing is too much for me, right?
Mhm.
You can toggle them off, do it manually, you know, get that manualness back in your life. Um,
Nice.
so we've got that. Is there anything we haven't covered yet that has
Let's see.
literally just a script that prints a bunch of scrolling text? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
It's
Yeah.
nice.
I actually want to scream at more. I'm always complaining to Brian, right? I'm like, dude, pipe it through more charm. So, charm.sh. It's like
Oh.
it's like all beautiful. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm like, oh, get more emojis in here. So we're trying to
Yeah.
do
Why
that
not?
there. Um,
Yeah, no, there's nothing. I mean, I'll set up. I'll do all these like longer ones later, but yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah,
configure shell. Thank you. Right? Like,
yeah. If you so this is an interesting thing is like an upstream vanilla Fedora,
mhm.
right? They don't put shells on the image. So people who
No.
don't use bash have to layer it. That kind of sucks, right? But
Ooh.
you also understand that they're a generic operating system, right? So like they
Yes.
have to keep the image small, right?
Right. Yeah.
We're like, this is a developer focused thing, right? Just ship all three shells, and like
Yeah,
the user will
exactly.
pick, right?
Install OBS Studio Portable.
Yeah. So this is a container. I actually don't like this one.
Oh.
But Wimpy made this for a reason. This will install a container, an
Mhm.
Ubuntu container, and put OBS in it, and then a ton and tons of plugins that Wimpy likes. So it's useful in that regard. I don't like putting graphical applications inside of containers that way. I prefer to just use the Flatpak, which is designed for graphical applications, but it doesn't have
Makes
as many
sense.
plugins.
Well,
So
yeah. I mean, not in
it's
the
it's one of
box.
those look.
Yeah.
I don't. Hey man, not my. You know,
Yeah.
not
Not
my
your
circus, not
monkey.
my
Yeah,
monkeys.
yeah.
Pick what you want.
Exactly.
Oh, this one is interesting for DX. Install JetBrains Toolbox there. If you go to that one,
Install
so
JetBrains?
yeah, so
Okay.
because VS Code is on the image, people are like, I like JetBrains. A lot of people use JetBrains, right?
Right.
And Jet. So if you go, like distros are always trying to package things, and they're always like behind or slow or something
Way
like that.
behind. Yeah.
And like if you install them via Flatpak, now you have to deal with that model, which doesn't match how the rest of us do like stuff, right? Then you have a thing where like you're the person using JetBrains, but totally different from everyone else on your team, and that sucks.
Right.
And I hate
Yeah.
that. So they wrote a tool that basically runs in your home directory, and it's like a little thing that shows all their products, and you click, 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 it installs all the dependencies for
Wow.
you. It just handles everything, like totally isolated in your home directory, and it is like way supported, way better than anything we could do. So we just script that up for you. And if you're a
Damn.
JetBrains person, boom, you're good to go. So
That's
that's
awesome.
that's why we did that. Yeah. Someone's asking why didn't you make you just dash dash choose? We're still struggling with that because also it's nice when you know what you're doing to type it. But
Mhm.
that's the kind of thing that we make. Yeah, an alias might be neat. I might try to personally on my system alias to choose to like two characters or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's all the choose is. It's like fancy FZF, which is
Yeah.
hilarious to me.
That is kind of funny.
And all these are just files, which are just like lightweight make
Where are
files.
they?
They're new. It shows you right there. See where it says user share
Oh.
ubluos just file. Yep.
Oh, come on. Share. You blue OS just file.
There might be an include in there.
Hang on. We'll just do that. You said that.
Yeah. So there's all our stuff. Actually, that's where we put all of our stuff. Right.
Cool.
So in there's the image info, your just file. There's your MOTD. If you go in there, you'll see
the
the
quad
actual
list, the whole
markdown.
9 yards.
Yeah,
Okay.
we try to put everything in there. We try to keep everything nice and Unix, so
Nice.
you know what you have and what's ours and what's Fedora's. There's your topgrade.toml, right? So if you're like, I don't want you to update my certain containers or whatever, you can.
Yeah.
So you can actually copy that in .config/topgrade. One of the nice things about this model is since user is read only, you can't go in there and accidentally jack up a system config file. So the model kind of forces you to copy it into, yeah.
Oh, come on. Oh, well, I got to do the whole path.
Yep. Thanks, Matt. Woo!
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah. So if you're like, I don't want you to upgrade my brew stuff, you would copy this to .config/topgrade, right?
Okay.
But one of the nice things is like if you jack up your config, you always have a copy of every config on the system on the read-only part of the disk, and that's useful, right?
Yeah. No kidding. I can't tell you how many times I've been like, oh, I wish I could just restore this to the default version.
Does anyone have a pristine Etsy app sources.list?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've like
asking for a friend.
Yeah, spun up a VM just to
figure out. I couldn't quit Vim, so I accidentally deleted my sources.list. Yeah. So I think that's basically it. What else do we want to say? Oh, right click. I want to talk about the wallpapers just a little bit.
Oh yeah. No, let's do it.
So Jacob Schnurr did these.
Oh, hang on. What's the hide everything button? No hide.
Control Alt D, I think, hides everything. There's a shortcut for that. Is Super D? Control Alt D. No, there definitely is a minimize everything button. I don't know. Oh, your prompt is Starship by default because we like it. Very sleek.
I noticed that. I'll have to learn it. It's
okay. If you have a cool prompt, please let me know. I would love to be you. Just choose Bling prompt or something. And
well, go through
figs in there.
Go through default my ZSH prompts.
No. See, I'm busy. Uses. I'm busy. So the way we do things around here is you guys. Somebody else has to figure it out.
No, I get it. But like that's what I would do. I would be like, okay, like give you the exact same options, but just do it in Starship or whatever.
Yeah, because everyone's like, "Are you gonna go find all the cool prompts?" I was like, there was a period in my life when I would have done this.
Yeah.
The way I do, now that we have that sustainability aspect of open source, it's like if somebody cares, they'll PR it. And if not, they won't.
Super key H.
So, oh, boom. Nice. All right. So right click and do the wallpaper chooser. So Jacob Schnurr did these and he did the animals and stuff. And then the photorealistic one was done by Andy Frazier. These are two paleo artists that I commissioned to do the work. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is my default on Mac. This one's really
cool. Oh, really?
Yeah. So like, look at this. Check this one out.
Oh.
Yeah. It's got all these cool, like run CI. There's your apps.
Yeah.
Code. Adjust volume. But it's like all keys. And like it has a light and a dark. But I'm going to switch it back to the default because I like the default.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on.
Don't tell Matt, but now that Matt's gone, when you're on a framework, we're going to give you a special framework.
Nice.
Wallpaper. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And on the 16, Kyle got like the DGPU working with switcheroo and all this kind of stuff. It's going to be exciting. So this one is awesome. This one is from the Space Needle.
Oh,
that's from Seattle. Yeah. So that was XC is how they spell their name. I don't know how to pronounce that. But they were a colleague of Brian's and contributed this. And it's kind of the Seattle home of cloud native thing. And it was the one day in every 15 years where there's a blue sky in all of Seattle and not a cloud in the sky.
Right.
And it was just a beautiful thing.
Wow.
I would like to figure out a way to have like a service that has like our community wallpapers and stuff. Because I just want someone, it's like kind of a bunch of people who love wallpapers, just like give me a thing,
Right.
And like I want to help do that stuff. So the artwork and stuff is all designed around like nature. We picked the dinosaurs because of evolution, right? Like we want to evolve the Linux desktop to the next step, and we're going to give you the tools to do it.
So I noticed you had seasons in here. It automatically figures that out too.
Yeah. So what happens is on that day, someone PRs the default thing in GitHub, and it just builds in the image. Yeah. So we say spring. We say
I
summer.
automate that with like a GitHub action or something, maybe.
Yeah. Right now we're doing it by hand.
Okay.
Yeah. Because also in order to set these, you have to do this GNOME XML stuff. That is probably some of the worst anything I've ever seen of anything.
Yeah.
Like it is. Even GNOME developers are like, "You sure you want to do this?" I was like, "Yes, must have it."
I mean, I do love this one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's a photorealistic one. I'm gonna have him do a few other ones. One of the things, once once the donations cover like for the GitHub infrastructure and stuff,
Yeah.
like I want the artist to have like a thread and be like, hey, if you have any ideas, what do you
Like
want to see Bluefin do,
insert
or
card
whatever.
here, and like he'll
Yeah, and then
generate
if
some
people
ideas
want to
for
help raise money, the show the winter one, which is right there, that one. The last, not that one, down one. That one, yeah. So this one's kind of cool because
I mean, I really like this one too. Yeah.
Yeah, so at night it shows this this is an Anukosaurus. This, if you're Canadian, this is your Tyrannosaur. But in the daytime, because they fade slowly, there's a Therizinosaur on the other side. So like throughout the day it fades out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I want to do cooler things around this that are like subtle.
Yeah.
And it like follows your themes and stuff like that. And that's it. Anyone have any questions?
Yeah.
Like, there's no clouds in the sky. Quick, take a picture of the cloud native desktop. That's it. That's.
I mean, I should just.
That's why the internet is amazing. That is such a great quote. Tweet that, please. Actually, take a picture of this when we're done. Take a picture of this, tweet it, and we'll tag them, and then we'll see. Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. This is the DX image.
This is awesome. No, but that's the thing. Yeah. Like the DX image has all the stuff. Like you've taken the choice paralysis out of it for me, right? Like I know what the UBlue way of doing things is.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do Ubuntu, on my own on Fedora, right? Yeah. Like who knows what I would set up. Like you have stuff in here like installed by default that I don't think a lot of people would use. Like this is awesome.
Yeah, I don't know.
This tool is awesome. I don't know if it'll actually work, but
no, wait until you use it. Yeah, no work. You still had to log into your group, so that probably won't work until you log back.
Yeah, you're right.
Actually, no, hit new.
Oh, yeah, no, it did something.
Yeah, there you go. There's your VM.
Yeah, look at that. Ta-da.
Yeah, but one of the things in the tagline people ask me, you say the Ubuntu spirit built on Fedora technology, right? Is like, I love Fedora's technology.
Yes.
Right. But because it is community driven, there is a lot of community. I mean, right? The Kubernetes is the same way. It's like, well, we should, Whereas like in Ubuntu, it was like, all right, pick the one thing that it's good at, and that's what we're gonna do. It's like, we could sit here waft around all day, or someone just pick something, right? So like, it's like I got sick of people arguing about GNOME upstream, the doc extensions, and I was like, you know what? Doc on the bottom, app indicators top right. Let's move on to some other problem. Like nobody cares. Like if you have an opinion on that, you know how to turn it off. However, if you do like the GNOME upstream experience, you could just shut off the extensions and it'll look just like real Fedora.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, just to let folks know, if you want to contribute to, Universal Blue, it's universal-blue.org.
New website, project fired up.
Yeah, I saw it. It was great. Yeah. Projectbluefin.io is where you can get the ISOs for this version, the DX version.
And Bazite.gg will get you the gamer one.
So,
which
will have. Let's do that real quick. Let's install Steam real quick. No, we did the Steam thing. Oh, yeah. Like I just got to install a game and let it rip. Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be like a bunch of gigs.
Yeah.
But
lots of gigs.
Bazite, the gaming one, will give you choice of KDE or GNOME. Also great for HTPCs. So like your
Oh, yeah.
So I have my gaming rig set up. That's how I use Bazite.
So
and it works on the Lenovo Legion Go. You can run on your Steam Deck and the Asus ROG Ally. So it gives you all that gamer stuff. Everything you read about gamingonlinux.com. Like, we literally just like every time I read something awesome on gamingonlinux.com, I'm like, we have this, right? And of course we do. So it's like amazing.
Yeah.
Because I just got to have it. I ain't got time. I want all that stuff, but I ain't just got time to set all that up. So why not have Kyle do it for me?
Exactly.
And then getaurora.dev, I believe, is the KDE version of this. So if you like everything you see here, but you prefer K's instead of G's.
Yeah.
Strikes instead of dollar bills.
I mean, I would love to see a world where I could switch between the two to evaluate.
So actually, you can rebase between both. We currently do not recommend that because the system stuff is fine. The
Yeah.
home user directory, they stomp on each other.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be the thing. Like when I go to FOSSA, I'm gonna be like, all right, who do we got to get in the room to sort this business?
Right. Like we
Um,
got to make gnome and kitty just at least play nicely.
yeah, yeah. However, if you do custom, and I know someone's going to do this, right? Someone could literally make every desktop in one image,
Yeah.
you
No, I
know.
know.
And what I want to do, what I wish people would do, is do like a retro. I would love a retro one that has all the old window managers, like Enlightenment and stuff,
Ooh,
but it all works on
yeah.
Fedora. And,
Yeah.
do that retro thing, and you log in, and it looks like the Amiga. Like, wouldn't that
Right.
be awesome?
That
Like,
would be dope.
I'm looking forward to seeing people do that because that would make
So
a retro computer appliance. Boom,
that would be
done.
awesome. That'd be so
So
cool.
baller. Yeah.
Um,
Window maker, hell yeah.
yeah. So I did don't be creeped out or anything. Like I literally liked your skin so
Oh
much. I
yeah.
bought one myself. This
Yep.
is dope. I loved it. Like my favorite colors are orange and blue, and this was on George's laptop, and I was like, I
Yeah.
literally want that.
Yeah, I picked it because orange for Ubuntu, blue for Fedora, right? And
Fedora, that's a brilliant,
that's
right?
a thing I'm trying to blend here. Is like a little
I've
bit.
got
I want a little bit of everything.
I
You
would
know.
love to have like half of blue bezel, half an orange bezel somehow, right? Like because the hotkeys into the toolbox are dope.
Yeah. Don't those terminals look awesome? Christian
Yeah,
Hergert like totally
those
made this
are
experience
those are
better. Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
this is next level, and I love it. And I love the fact that a couple tricks here and tweaks there, and it'll be exactly how I want it. But
yeah.
everything's just there at my fingertips.
Yeah. And the secret is, I hate this.
Mm. Oh,
Where
that's the thing,
compared to where
right?
we
Like
want,
I hate this
compared to where we
too.
want, compared to
Yeah,
where we want to go, like
yeah.
it's like I love and I hate Kubernetes, right? You know what I mean? Like
Exactly, right? Like
like that
I don't
container
wanna
experience.
depend upon Kubernetes in my daily life, right?
Yeah,
Like, I
it's like
want
one
to
of the
work on it, but not
yeah. It's
right,
like our
like
mission for this year is to find people who can make that container experience awesome, right? Like we need the
yeah.
UI person talking to the terminal person, talking to Luca who makes DistroBox. We got to
Mhm.
engage with the Podman team. The Podman desktop team actually, oh man, should have mentioned that. Podman
Oh,
desktop,
yeah.
that team gives you a whole GUI that does like all of this. Like it
So
gives you like
for
all this bling stuff.
yeah, like,
Um,
I might have just dunked on Podman recently on Twitter. It's nothing
oh,
personal, y'all. I will
yeah,
probably put Podman Desktop on here since that's what's on here by default.
yeah,
Um,
and
yeah,
it lists your Docker containers along with Podman, gives them all
right.
little
It
nice
gives them
labels.
all
It's nice.
I
It's
like
nice.
it, but here's
Yeah,
the thing. Sometimes Docker just works, especially
yeah.
on Mac, right? Like,
Yeah, and also ecosystems, right?
yeah.
Anytime you go to something, GitHub is going to give you Docker instructions, right?
Mhm.
And for a while, I was like, what we need to do is write a guide to teach people how to translate that into Podman. I was like, or we
Or
just give people Docker and just have it all work, So like, yeah, they're some people are going to call that a compromise, but also, Pete Goodall, I worked with him at Canonical for like a long time, right? And he
yeah.
works at Docker, and he goes, I freaking love Fedora. Like, I love
Right.
Fedora. I want to use this,
Yeah.
but I have to have Docker, and
Right.
when you actually talk to people who work at Red Hat and stuff, they're like, we have customers that have Docker, right?
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
the practicality of cloud is like, we know that you're going to have Podman, you're going to have Docker, you're going to have Cryo,
Mhm.
you're going to have the
Mhm.
35,000 ways to write a container,
Yeah.
container runtime, like all of that stuff. So at some point, it's just like,
What the fuck is
we're not a general purpose distro, so just
yeah.
give the developers what they want, right? So that's the
Give
kind of
the
mantra that
developers
we're
what
shooting
they
for.
want. Exactly.
Yeah. And with that,
Uh,
that's an hour and a half.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome,
Anything
man.
else? This is
Nah.
awesome. Thank you so much for doing it. We kind of planned this last minute, so I appreciate that.
Well,
But
it's kinda my own fault, so
it's okay. Like the framework thing caught me by surprise today. I was like, "Oh, we're doing that now?" Because Matt had mentioned it. I was like, I
oh,
didn't know
cool.
like how serious he was, right?
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
So the fact that they're going all in, and then they provided us with the hardware, and Kyle already has it enabled.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, we're gonna try to get it for release, but like shipping snafu, so like it's gonna take a few more days.
Mhm.
And then once everything's ready to go, the dream, man, you get a company that makes hardware that loves Linux, right? And you got a
Yeah.
community of people that love the thing that want to make it awesome,
Yeah.
right? And then Fedora gave us the tools to do it, so we're gonna do it. Like,
Yeah, why not?
hell yeah, this is the laptop I want to grow up with. I would have loved to have grown up with, right? Can you
Yeah,
imagine
the
learning
fact that
Linux on this
yeah,
instead of
the
trying to
fact
get
that I
wireless to work?
could, like yeah, oh my god,
Yeah.
it just yeah, like, this is
Oh, Augie. Hi. Sorry.
hey,
I
buddy.
see an old friend in chat.
So yeah, like, this is the Linux I wanted in, '99 when I was like, "I'm really done with the whole reinstall every week
Yeah.
kinda thing,"
Yeah. Yeah. And it was
But
like at some point you're like, Ubuntu's not going to make this for you, right? Like,
no,
and the desktop is still kind of a place where getting that support from large companies is still like
it's
it's a
incredibly
difficult
difficult.
value proposition, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, kind of the Easter egg here, the mission is actually like, I want to prove that these enthusiasts here can make a market if you give them the right hardware and you give them the right software, right? Because
Bingo.
as much as I love Bluefin, you mentioned you work at a place, right? And you
Mhm.
can't run Bluefin, right?
Yeah.
But if Red Hat made a enterprise grade thing that had the full support of your company, right?
Mhm.
That's what I want them to build, right?
Right.
And it's like Linux never got to that point where it's like, you know, I know every Linux shop in the industry, right?
Yeah,
You
that's
go in there, you know what they give you? They give you a Mac, right?
yep.
So like they don't have an option because all the options up until this point, right,
Have not
didn't have this
existed.
level of reliability, right? And
Right.
yeah. So that is what we're gonna roll with, y'all.
It's awesome.
Yes, ARMS 60. I cannot wait. We need GitHub builders, and um, that'll happen this year. I think we're definitely getting the GitHub builders this year. But
Yeah.
yeah, Fedora is nice because they have full. That's the Linux you want for ARM Max is Asahi. So
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
so hopefully someday, knock on wood, that'll be another experience. Give people an option. So
Yeah, awesome, dude. Well, thank
all
you.
right,
I appreciate it.
find us on our Discord. Thanks everybody. You're all awesome.
See you later, y'all.